Hello, so for this video, I'm going to talk about this special edition of Time Magazine's The Science of Creativity. This magazine is packed with full information on creativity and imagination at every age, the power of sleep and your inner genius, and so much more. So this magazine is definitely filled with a ton of information. Learning from Leonardo, Under the Hood, The Power of Sleep, Pushing Your Envelope, The Screen Time Stunt Kids Creativity, When Schools Get Creative, You're Never Too Old, and so on and so on. But I'm going to share a few of the chapters that I read. Actually, these are some of the pages that I read. So, Learning from Leonardo is one of the chapters in this magazine. So Leonardo had the ability to apply intellect to creativity, is what this book says. He was different. Like Einstein said, I am just passionately curious. I don't have any special talents, but I'm just a passionately curious person. So that just goes to show that you don't really need to have a lot of talent. It's good to have talent, but talent gets nowhere unless you apply that talent and you practice and work on your talent. So, going back to Leonardo, he kept tons of notebooks. I mean, he was relentless when it came to creating stuff. He would just keep drawing and writing backwards. For some reason, I don't know why he wrote backwards, but he was just vividly, his mind was just somewhere else, where he thought about everything. Why does this work? Why do the arms move this way? Or why is people's facial expressions the way they are? So he was very curious. Some of the topics it says, seek knowledge for its own sake, retain a childlike sense of wonder. So I know sometimes we can be out, and day in and day out, we can get used to these routines and just remember, we forget about how much there is to explore in the world. Like we get up and we go to our jobs, we come home, make dinner, or do whatever you do. But we always forget that there is a lot to explore outside. So there's just a boatload of things that you can get around to exploring. So it also says he also says to get distracted. Many times Leonardo would paint a painting, look at it for an hour, do one little brush stroke and leave. I mean, he would just do things that were just different. You know, a lot of us, we live in a day and age now where we have deadlines and we have to get things done at a certain time. But Leonardo would take his time, think about it. He wouldn't rush the process. Just because someone says, oh, I have to have it by this time tomorrow, is it possible? He would probably say, well, I'll get it done when I get it done. I'm not going to rush. I'm not going to try to meet this deadline. I'm going to get it done when I feel that it should be done. So, yeah, that's something that he would do. So he would take his time. Also, there's a statement in here that says real art is ship, which means that sometimes you ought to deliver a product when there are still improvements that could be made. And Steve Jobs, with his company, Apple, he would still make the product even if it was a problem with it. Sometimes it's just best to just get the product done or just send it off knowing that there might be improvements, but it's best to just get the project done. So if we go around and evaluate something over and over, there's always going to be some kind of flaw, some kind of mistake. But until you put the product out there, you don't know what the mistake is going to be. So sometimes it's best there may be a flaw with the product, but just still do it anyway. So it says make lists, take notes on paper, be open to mystery. His ability to combine art, science, and technology, the humanities, and imagination remains an enduring recipe for creativity. So that was a great topic in this magazine. And there's just plenty more to read about Leonardo, and just lots and lots of information. Chapter 2 says the creative mind, inside the biological, intellectual, and emotional forces that fuel creativity. So there's an important topic in there. Another topic talks about sleep. So it talks about the power of sleep. Our uncensored, slumbering brains can dream up limitless vistas. And it says dopamine levels rise in the pleasure centers of the brain where the dreaming and where we're being creative. So it says during REM sleep, the brain becomes fragmented, reassembling bits and pieces of scenes and images in strange ways. So that is a great topic to read about, the power of sleep. Once again, we live in a day and age now where we only want to take a few hours to sleep because we got to get up, we got to get ready, we got to do this, we got to run to the store, run here, run there. But we forget about the power of going to sleep. The power of resting. Resting and being still. That's really important for creativity. Because if you're always moving, you're always going on the go here, doing things for people, doing this, doing that, there's really no time for you to stop and think. So it's really good to let your mind rest, take a break in stillness so that you can think and that you'll be more creative. Taking time in stillness will also help you to think of more ideas and be more creative. This one, chapter 3, says creativity in action. It takes many forms, applying virtually every realm of experience. My creative process is centered around the need of a strong idea. The best way for me to get to that idea is to take as much of my own creative anxiety and baggage out of the process and to approach the subject with empathy. At best, I hope to imagine the thoughts, emotions, and visuals that surround the subject. So, I tell you, this magazine is definitely packed with a lot of information. Too much information that would be so much for me. This video would probably be about 3 hours. So if you're a person once again, like me, that's creative, and you just want to know a little bit more about each topic, and this magazine will definitely give you the tools you need. So I'm just sharing another magazine review with you. I hope you enjoyed this magazine. And once again, the information that I'm giving is not everything, but there's just a few things that I've shown to you today. And I would hope that you would take time to read this magazine and just take time to be creative. Take time in stillness. That's one of my big things. I don't like to rush. I don't like to have a lot of things going on. I'm a person that I don't like to be a busy person. Some people might find enjoyment in being busy or running to this commitment or that commitment or just doing whatever. I don't like to be busy all the time. Sometimes the more busy we are, the more important we might feel. But I just think that if you can sit, be still, it lets your mind be at rest and it allows for you to be more creative. So take time to be still, to just sit down and read, and just learn to be creative. So I hope you enjoyed this magazine review, and take time to read.